G'day and welcome to the explanation of my reverse engineering challenge. Um, so basically, go to this address here, download the binary. It is compiled for 32-bit Linux, so if you don't have Linux, just download a Ubuntu ISO, run it in a VM. Uh, there are a couple of tools like Ghidra that's just been released. You've got GDB, tools that are going to be useful. So over here we've got the validator. So if I put in a value like dog and then check that, obviously the flag is not dog, and it will wait 10 seconds. This is to stop people from brute forcing it. Um, and then it'll tell you that that's not the value. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the value. So I'm going to break open GDB. I'm going to show you how you would usually do it. I am just going to speed through it, but there we go. I am just going to speed through it, just find the answer. This is not how you'd usually attack it. This is just because I know the binary and I just want to get through it. So I'm just going to, whoopsie. So we're going to step through it. I'm just going to just stop it manually because I know what the value is. So we've got to count it up. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like in Ghidra with the decompiler, and then I'm going to show you the hints that you'd find in that to sort of figure out what's going on. So I'm going to stop it there, and then I'm going to info registers, and then over in here, sitting in EDI, is the value 8192. So if I copy that, go to the validator, chuck it in, it'll tell you that that's the value. Now, how would you go about finding that? You could step through it in GDB, keep an eye on the registers. You'll notice that EDI goes up every time it reaches a double digit. It'll double again until it gets to 8192. Another way you could do it is in a tool like Ghidra. So we'll have a look, we'll analyze it real quick. So, and that'll decompile it. Alright, may take a hot minute. Here we go. So this is the main function here. So basically this is clearly a count. So I'm just going to call that counter. This one here, we're going to just call it value 1, and we'll call this one value 2, just to make it a little bit easier. So as we can see, there is two functions. These ones are sort of built in by the compiler, but there's two main. There's main and there's +1. So what main does, this is the main loop, and then +1, all +1 does is it gets the parameter 1 as an int, and then it returns it +1. So all it does is increment by 1. But in the main, what you'll see, so this here, this is just 10,000. So if the counter, which increments up every time that it goes through the loop, if it equals value 1 plus value 2, value 2 will take on the value of value 1, and then value 1 will double. And then it'll keep running through the loop. But what the decompilation doesn't show you is the weird little things that are the weird little thing that's happening in the assembly. So if you have a look here, right when it doubles, it does something else. It pushes EAX into EDI, and then if you go through the rest of it, it does absolutely nothing with EDI. Now this is weird because no compiler would ever put this output. I had to do it using inline assembly. And as you look, every time it doubles, it pushes it into EDI. Which, if you remember, that's where we found the flag. So it just pushes the result into EDI and does nothing with it. It just leaves it in the register and then doesn't touch it. So that's pretty much how it works. They're the hints that you can use. It doesn't show up in the decompilation, but this does help you to sort of see what's going on, how it's put together. But you have to do a little bit extra and then look at the assembly and have a think, oh, what's going on? What's a little bit funny here? This alone should tip you off that it's doing something other than just counting up. Because if it was just counting up, you'd really only need these two, or you'd use an iteration. I put that extra function in here just to sort of throw you off the loop. Anyway, that's all you really need to do. That's the solution, the answer, and the tips on how to find it.